All right. Welcome back to what will be another season of the Other League Pod. 2025, I should say, has just begun, and I'm your host, as normal, Gio, and who's been sitting in with me seems far too often. But it's good to have you, Anth. Appreciate you joining me.
Welcome back, everyone, to the other league pod. I'm glad to be here. Glad to be filling in for Snide, and yeah, let's get down to business. Got to give the people what they want. They've been clamoring for this, so let's get into it.
Yeah, we certainly are overdue. Yeah, can't can't really knock anyone for the commitments we all have. We definitely wanted to get one out for the either pre-draft, post-draft, even a week one preview. But hey, we're here. Week one has come and gone. Fantasy season has officially begun, and yeah, some people are feeling good. Some people panic button's already starting a little bit. Maybe I'm just talking about myself, but let's let's get into my matchup since we're here at the top here. Um, My God, what an absolute dismal week for Green Bull. I mean, feeling a little was a little weary going into it just from the RB2 standpoint, not hearing some good things about Caleb Johnson. So that was a little scramble mode to kind of just throw Jerome Ford in there. But I mean, pretty much everybody disappointed besides Jordan Love. Just in terms of my starters, I mean, put up 76 points. There's not too many highlights on Green Bull side here. Yeah, I mean, what do you give your take? I think relatively straightforward matchup for Lord Winchester, our fearless commissioner. Nothing really crazy happening on his side. Kind of usual suspects. Cook had a good game. James Cook obviously was just kind of pouring it on late, and Brock Bowers more to come, but keeps doing his thing.
Yeah, for sure. We figured. I mean, I figured an even matchup, per se, and when projections seem like they're pretty even. Just looking at both squads, I mean, each of you guys have some good players, really good players. I mean, you obviously more so the receiver spot. I would say like Logan's got a little bit of balance, a little bit more balance there. But I mean, you don't really know exactly what Hampton's role was going to be. They said Najee Harris is coming back, and then there's a report right before the game that Hampton's starting, which most people want to see how he's going to shape up. And he had a modest game with only 8 points. I mean, not what you really want to see it maybe, but he's a rookie, first game, so more good things to come most likely. But I mean, just unfortunately for you, like you said, the RB spots is probably the weak point. Unfortunately, I don't know why. I mean, I understand why Charbonnet gets a role with in Seattle's offense. I mean, Kenny Walker obviously been banged up for the last couple of years, but yeah, not really what you want to see. You want Kenneth Walker to have at least 15 points a game. I mean, to solidify that RB1 spot, but unfortunately, just didn't happen this week. And 76 is not a number that you want to get. Of course, nobody wants to get that. I mean, I know from experience last year, 60, a couple of 60 pointers with my team was depleted. So I know exactly how you feel with scoring a low number, but I mean, I think Amon Ra is going to bounce back. I mean, I think he's due for a bounce back next week. He's on, this guy averages like probably like 20 points a game. It seems like every game. So like it's just a little low number there too. Green Bay, Green Bay handled them pretty well. So that's another spot too where you're expecting Amon Ra to get at least maybe 15, 20. I mean, I was expecting 20. I mean, because he's a beast, but it just didn't happen. So Logan, despite the fact that he only got 8 points from Bo Nix, that was kind of weird too because Denver, they're at home and Tennessee's defense isn't really known to be a juggernaut. I thought for sure Denver was going to be a little, Bo Nix especially, be a little bit better. I mean, a couple of interceptions is not gonna help. But I mean, despite that fact, he only hits 199, but it was just enough to win.
Yep. Yeah, nothing really much to add there. I mean, gonna have to play this roulette, unfortunately, of Charbonnet and Walker, and honestly, maybe at this point, just hope maybe one of them gets traded or hurt that I can at least know which one's going to get the rock. But yeah, I mean, I think my team overall, I think will certainly have some good spike weeks just based off the three receivers or four receivers. I mean, we didn't even get to my bench. I mean, I had Ibuka. It's tough to start him over Devontae or Amon Ra, obviously in that spot, but more to come. The kid looks good, and yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's scroll down here. Let's get to Geese and Plantation. I mean, Geese, damn. I mean, Plantation obviously subsided a little bit in terms of projections, but um, yeah, I mean, Aaron's got to feel good. I know, getting that first win and just getting 1-0. I mean, it's early, but definitely feels good to hit your projections and kind of see what he was doing. Just from a team aspect. I mean, everybody kind of hit, so to speak, in terms of projections. Murray and Harrison obviously link up. That's always a nice little stack for him. Jackson Smith, I mean, even with the fumble, gets to 20. Jahmyr Gibbs, subdue game. I know there's a lot of back and forth talk about the full point PPR for running backs. I mean, that this is a prime example of if you're against it, you know, 10 catches, 31 yards, only 19 rushing yards. The guy still puts up 15 because of it. Yeah, it's tough, in a tough spot there, just from that standpoint. I mean, he was pretty bottled up from that Packers defensive line. He hits on Kelsey. I mean, didn't really do much besides get open for that touchdown. And Cortland Sutton just keeps on doing what he's doing. Obviously, a former owner of him, from last year. You gotta understand or appreciate, I should say, just how consistent that guy really is. And Andre, I mean, better days to come. I mean, AJ Brown starting off obviously wasn't anything you want to kind of see from your starting lineup there. Your number one receiver goes out and puts up barely a catch. Should have been a goose egg. I mean, based off of the end of
Crazy.
the game there, just to get that last catch. But as someone that's facing Andre, I mean, you got to just scroll down here. I mean, you got Derrick Henry. That guy is a weekly game changer. Jaden Daniels is a stud, like the rookie. So yeah, I don't hate Andy's team. I think they'll be on the up and up, but kind of get smacked around a little bit by the geese.
Yeah, it seemed like it. I mean, it's just like it just didn't get out to a great start with AJ Brown, like you said, like you touched on. I mean, very very surprising. I mean, that's a team that's really not going to like throw the ball as much. I mean, Hurts is a guy that's going to kind of rush the ball a little bit with, and they got Saquon, of course. Now they add Tank Bigsby too, so we don't really know what his role is going to be on the team. So, I mean, they're going to try to feed AJ Brown. I mean, I feel like I had Devontae Smith in other leagues. I think like last couple of years, and since AJ Brown's been on the team, I feel like he would go to him a lot, AJ Brown. So I feel like it's just kind of strange that he only gets one catch. I mean, that doesn't really start your matchup off pretty good there. But with Derrick Henry, yeah, like you said, just he can single handedly win a week for somebody. But unfortunately for Andre, just there's too many like single digit point totals on his team to overcome that. I mean, it's just 29 is a hell of a number, but yeah, like you said, like AJ Brown getting that catch, and then of course like Scary Terry only with two catches for 27 yards. That was uncharacteristic. I thought for sure they'd get him more involved, but with Debo there, I mean, they throw Debo in the mix as it's another person that when healthy, I mean, he still got some gas left in the tank. I feel like he's definitely a huge addition for Washington, and Washington's definitely a good team. And Jaden Daniels is obviously a stud. So I mean, for sure. And he was relying on Washington a lot. He had the defense too, which defense was obviously a good matchup against the Giants. Giants terrible offense, but for the Geese. Like you said, the stack was working well. I mean, I have high hopes for Marvin Harrison Jr. I think he's going to have a bounce back season. He was a rookie last year. Of course, you're thinking, okay, this guy's coming from a great program. He's a high draft pick. He's going to be he's going to have 10 touchdowns, 100 receptions, 1,200 yards. But unfortunately, just like you got to get more acclimated in the NFL game, and I think he's going to I think he's going to definitely reach that this year. He's a guy very high on. Was very high on in the draft. Fortunately, didn't get a chance to get him. But I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be great. I think he's going to be a stud. I think not really going out on a limb by saying that, but I just think that he's going to have a great season. And then he's got obviously Jackson Smith is really good, and Gibbs is obviously surprising to me. Like obviously we didn't really cover. We're probably not going to cover the draft too much, but I will say I was kind of surprised myself that Gibbs. I was like, for sure I thought he was going to take Saquon, being an Eagles fan too. He takes Gibbs, which is not a terrible choice. I'm not saying that at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can't for a full point PPR. It's definitely, as you said, you look at the stats. It doesn't seem like a great number. 30 versus those 10 catches. I mean, you have 15 points. It's amazing, really, how much damage he can do in a full point PPR with the rules how they are. So like he's got a lot to feel good about in his squad so far through week one, and let's see if he can keep up that momentum next week.
Yep. Yeah, he's got to feel pretty good putting up, a pretty nice number at 118 there.
I also have one more
Um,
point to make before you go.
oh,
Like it's
sorry, go ahead.
I just thought of it now because I was thinking about it. I was looking at how like for keeper options. I mean, he kept Jerry Judy, Aaron, but like and how everyone pretty much everybody's keeper like is in their starting lineup. Judy wasn't even in the starting lineup, and that goes to show you the depth that he has in his team as well. I mean, I feel like
That's a
he
good point.
kept Jerry Judy, but didn't even mostly everybody else's keeper I think was starting, and he's the only one that didn't. So it's good draft by Aaron too. So.
Yeah, 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 for sure. That's a good point.
Hmm.
Let's get to Phil and Beeve here. Colombian White still the worst name in the league. Phil, we gotta hopefully you listen to this or someone at least tells you. Maybe Snide will tell you, but we need something. You owe us something here. So hopefully the next couple weeks let's figure it out a little bit here. But picks up a pretty mediocre win. I mean, neither of these teams get to the triple digits here, just shy of it for Phil. But Jalen Hurts, I mean, hey, pretty subdued game, but he rushes two in, which were almost expected for him to run at least one in every game here. It seems like that he plays. I mean, he's poised, man. He's a great quarterback. So I mean, definitely great to see. Just from a starting lineups perspective, that you have him. I mean, he kept Bijan. Rips one off basically right off the start of that game. Almost expected to see him get a little bit more, almost just based off of the start he had. But 25, that's certainly nice from your first round keeper. Everything else, nothing really, spectacular. Kyron Williams, gets in the end zone. Kind of seemed more so the theme of week ones, just slow starts for a lot of the, you know, NFL teams in general. Not a lot of guys going off in terms of just, double, two touchdowns here or, 100 receiving yards or 100 rushing yards. There just was not a lot of offense outside of a handful of games on, week one slate there. So he gets to 98. Beeve, just again, not a hot start from Dak Prescott. I actually thought he played pretty well. I have Dak in another league, and
Hmm. Yeah.
just unfortunately, Ferguson misses that touchdown where he gets kind of laid out. A couple things doesn't really bounce his way. Overall, I thought he played okay. So just from a stat perspective, though, you don't get you don't get 10 points out of your quarterback. It's tough. Same thing. Brian Thomas gets in, but didn't really do much. Very very subdued game. I thought it was interesting. He played. Started Waddle. Kind of looking at it over here. I mean, doesn't really have too many options. I mean, I guess he's going to sit until Addison probably gets back in from that suspension. Um, Jalen Waddle, not necessarily someone you can count on, from a week in and week out standpoint, just in terms of consistency. Plays both, has to play both Miami guys. HN, I mean, was projected 20. I thought that was outrageous when I saw that.
Yeah.
But, that has a pretty decent game. And Connor and Arizona, he's got a lot of like double stacks a little bit, not maybe stack worthy, but I guess maybe just some eggs in one basket with some duplicate players from teams. So, but they're good players, so we'll see. I mean, I don't think by any means Nils' team is terrible, but tough week where you only get to 88 points and your opponent only gets to 98, and you unfortunately take a loss.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like going back to like the double stacking of players. I mean, Miami with an absolutely ridiculously terrible performance. I mean, they're playing on the road, but like you put up 8 points when the game was pretty much out of reach at this point. You lose to Danny Jones and
Yeah,
Danny Jones as a quarterback is pretty crazy, but like Miami's offense is a weird conundrum right now because like they were obviously 2 years ago. Yeah, got Waddle had a great season. Tyreek Hill went off, and we'll touch on Tyreek when we get to my team. But I mean, Achan comes in. He's relatively a younger player, and he's a guy that can definitely put up points in a hurry. But I mean, you can't really feel good about Miami's offense right now, and then the way that they're playing and the chemistry. I know Waddle got banged up during the game, but
yep,
he looks like he's going to be okay. But they really need to. They need to click. They need to click, and I don't know how that's going to happen. I mean, Tua's got to stay healthy, but I don't think he's the answer in Miami. I don't know. I just it's very interesting. They're a very disappointing team for sure to start the season off, but. He's got to hope that they click a little bit, and obviously he's got the Arizona connection, but too, Connor's obviously consistent, very consistent. Trey McBride's obviously a beast. So
yeah,
I think Ricky Pearsall, I mean, it's interesting with San Francisco too because they're really banged up. I mean, obviously CMC looked great um, for the first game of the season, but Kittle being out for he's on the short term IR 4 weeks at least, and Jennings his situation and whatnot, and they're obviously a banged up team now. Purdy going out, so like Pearsall, is he going to continue to be fed with Mac Jones throwing him the ball like maybe this week and further next coming week and further on? I mean, I'm not really sure. But he definitely looks the part. I think Pearsall is a really good
Yeah,
find from for Beeve there. But for as far as this matchup goes, yeah, just not enough points out of his Miami guys, unfortunately. I think Achane had 16, still a good number, but he can
yep,
definitely do a lot more with the way he catches the ball at the backfield. And like you said, Brian Thomas Jr. If he didn't get that rushing touchdown, it would have been a pathetic performance by him, and they won
yep.
the game. But I think with Travis Hunter, if he's more geared to being on offense, maybe that takes away Brian Thomas a little bit. I don't know. I don't think it will. But then they trade Bigsby and they have ETN coming back from the dead, so to speak, from last year. He kind of sucked, but like he had a great first game. I know it's week one. We don't want to overreact too much, but is Brian Thomas Jr. going to have the same season as last year? It remains to be seen. But if
Yep.
Travis Hunter is a thorn in the side, maybe not. But good win by Phil. I mean, despite the fact that he only scores 98, he's got to feel really good about having Bijan Robinson, who arguably could be is the number one player in fantasy. I'm not saying that he is or isn't, but like you can make
It's
that
up
case that
there.
he is. If he gets more work out the backfield instead of losing some carries at Algier, maybe he's going to be he could be the number one fantasy point getter this season. So good win for Phil, and see what happens next week.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's a good couple good takeaways. I mean, definitely just going back to that Miami thing. I mean, they gave so much money to Tua, and if he has a performance like that, just the entire offense suffers. So um, I mean, obviously it's quarterback. There's a lot of value to the positional players from your quarterback play, but it's pretty wild how um, how much that affects the offense and just how pathetic they looked. And then, yeah, like you said, the turmoil that we're going to get to here with, Tyreek kind of on the sideline, and is he going to get traded? If they're starting to have kind of a rough year, obviously the rumors of the Chiefs I've been hearing a lot of, kind of a reunion since they're so depleted, obviously with, the injury there that we'll get to here probably when we get to Snai with Worthy now that it's going to, looks like it's pretty extensive and, Bryce is on suspension. More to see. We'll see what kind of happens there. I mean, that's the kind of the fun part of fantasy. I mean, you could have a backup that gets traded or moves on to another team, and for a situation like this where it's a superstar or kind of an aging superstar, but could really kind of revitalize him in terms of just a fantasy piece as well. So, great win. I mean, we'll go to you and Arby's here. I mean, Arby's had a pretty pathetic performance, second worst compared to me. But you throw up a 119 spot, it's got to feel good considering how absolutely dismal your first 6 or 7 weeks were last year, just based off of injuries. But yeah, I'll let you kind of take it away for your team. I mean, you had some really nice performances from some guys.
Oh yeah, what a major relief first and foremost, like to get that out the way, to like get that week one first victory out the way. I mean, it feels good because I know how it was last year. Of course, we will be getting to that again because we know how it is. And like I think, I mean, at least the last 3 or 4 years, that week one, I've always gone off to like a bad start where I've always lost the first week. I feel like, I mean, last year I had 60 points. I think the year before I was looking it up, I lost. I was like, have I won week one ever in this league? I don't know. I'm sure I did, but like the last 3 or 4 years I haven't. So it's like good to get off to a good start. I thought going into this matchup, it was definitely, even, maybe even Steven a little bit. I mean, projection wise, I said the same thing, but yeah, I just feel really good about having Saquon Barkley on my team. I'm very happy to have him. I mean, hopefully he has the same year that he had last year. I mean, we can only hope for that perspective, because like I didn't expect to get him. Like I said earlier, I thought Gibbs for sure was going to go to me, regardless of what the mock draft said. But and then like obviously was happy. Garrett Wilson had a great game. I've always liked his game. Like I felt like maybe with Justin Fields, the Fields Wilson connection was going to work out for me. So far in week one, it seems like my projections are right, but it's a long season, so I'm just hoping that Garrett Wilson continues to keep getting fed. I mean, there really isn't a lot of like other guys to worry about in that offense. I mean, besides Brees Hall and the running backs, I mean, it just Fields will take away some of them for his rushing ability. So, but the main takeaway too is like for the Miami thing is like, yeah, maybe from my perspective, if he does get traded and goes back to Kansas City, it might be the best thing for Tyreek Hill, because obviously as a second round pick, in my draft, I feel like I need him to perform better than 8 points. I mean, full point PPR. He had a terrible year last year for his standards because in the 2 years previously, he's averaging, he's getting 1,200, 1,500 yards, and he's averaging like 10 to 12 touchdowns, and he's getting 100 catches. This is a guy that was 100 catches were just like you just expected from Tyreek Hill, and like last year he missed a few games, but he maybe a game or two, but like he was just struggling big time, and there was no like chemistry at all with Tua, and it's bleeding over into this season, I think, a little bit too. And now there's a report about this domestic violence thing that maybe happened. I mean, you never know. I mean, obviously the NFL is pretty no nonsense when it comes to that. We see the thing with Rasheed Rice and other examples in the past. So hoping from my perspective that Tyreek Hill regains a little bit of what he had in the past, and if he does get traded, maybe he gets traded to Kansas City, where like he has had a lot of success, as we know. But if not, I mean, I got to roll with the punches, and hopefully, like I have some depth pieces for receiver on the bench, and I see Zay Flowers. He pretty much had an amazing game with 28 points, and he had one of his better performances that I've seen, because I mean he's not known for like guys. He's not going to go off for 28, 30 points every week. He's going to be steady but not spectacular. But I was very, very pleasantly surprised. And then going against Ben, unfortunately for him, Jamar Chase with only 4 points. I mean, as a top pick in the fantasy football draft, you do not want to see that. I'm sure that was
No.
infuriating for sure for RBs. And you see on his bench, obviously, as you scroll down there, obviously he had Keon Coleman with 25. And like it's like
Yeah.
you're hoping that's a number that Jamar Chase should be hitting. And that's it goes with Burrow too. I had Burrow contending with him. He has Chase. I had Burrow, and Burrow had a really bad game, I thought, overall. I mean, they won the game. It's a tough matchup at Cleveland, divisional
Yep.
rival game. So I have to be very, very happy about my team's performance week one, but with a little bit of caution about the Tyreek thing. I need my second round pick. I really need him to step up. And actually, it's just it's the trade could be the best for both worlds, for his value in real life and for his fantasy value as well.
Yeah, I mean, speculation, obviously, with some of that stuff. I mean, it's only week one. Nobody's hitting the panic button just yet in terms of the NFL or really fantasy wise, I should say, yet. So, but you got to be happy. I mean, you got kind of three, guys that can pop, like you said. I mean, Zay Flowers, I had him last year. You're going to have some of these nice weeks, but obviously, there's going to be games where they're just going to be run heavy and probably blow out some teams. And he's going to put up single digits for you. So I mean, there's you just got to make sure and kind of hope that out of your three receivers, that essentially two of them are consistent every week for you. Which, I mean, you got three number ones. So I mean, that's in a good spot. I was really happy to see Chuba get in there for you, just because he's just been so consistent. Not really sure what the deal was with the number of running backs that Carolina had, but considering the contract he got, you just kind of assumed that they were going to kind of keep him rolling since he did have such I would say, a breakout year in 2024. Really nice to see Tucker Kraft get in, just as a Packer fan. That was cool. And then Ben's team I don't think is awful. I mean, he got ripped on certainly for the draft just for some of the reaches.
Mhm.
But I do think, like, kind of looking at his lineup, I mean, Trevion Henderson's, puts up 11 and got 50% of the work. That's just going to keep increasing. So, that whole, Cincinnati kind of, little bit of a stock that he has with Chase and Chase Brown, those guys they're going to only get better. Gonna be interesting. We'll get to the preview hopefully at some point here in this pod, but between Drake May and he has Justin Fields. I mean, I wonder he's going to have to play that game a little bit every week just to see who he wants to play. He doesn't have necessarily a true out and out, quarterback that might not be as consistent, I should say, on a weekly basis. And like you mentioned, Keon Coleman looked awesome in that game against Baltimore. So, kind of what he might have been, kind of talked about a little bit. Might have been a little bit early last year about him being a true number one for that offense, but he certainly looked the part. He looked pretty good. So, yeah, more to come. Tough week for Arby's. Certainly happy to see him lose though, and put a 81-point performance up because I need somebody in the cellar with me. So, all right, let's
Right.
get through these next the last two here. I picked. The name's starting to come around a little bit more and more as I look through the fantasy football team. I think that's a pretty good change up for Steve. Just comparing it, coming from the rigs, definitely a little bit more appropriate, and it's kind of funny. It's growing on me. So, I mean, what more to say? He has Josh Allen. I mean, the guys again
So
talk about weekly winner. You have your quarterback that is going to have 4 touchdowns and run for 2 of them. Puts up 42 points. That's light work for Josh Allen. Absolutely love that guy. It was super fun watching that game. And then kind of the rest of the guys kind of did their part, but I get 42 out of the quarterback. You don't need much. I think more to come with the Drake London. I think he's practicing, so he's going to play. Neighbors, I know he's going to play. Obviously he was pouting a little bit. They got to figure out that quarterback situation, but I think you got to feed Neighbors. I mean, they're going to try to, and his backs are. It's interesting. He played Travis Hunter, and kind of initially was kind of looking at like, okay, who's going to play here because he's kind of thin. Kind of towards his. I don't really love a lot of his players on his bench.
mm,
Um, but he's got a couple guys that you can kind of sit and wait on. But he gets to the high point total for the week just based off of Josh Allen. I would really say it, and yeah, tough sledding for the Iron Men. Still hate that name, Sny. I'm gonna tell it to your face too. Um, you're still gonna be trained to me. Sorry, man. But
exactly.
yeah, good performance with Mahomes. CeeDee Lamb, even though he had a couple bad drops, gets to 18. I thought that was um, a really solid performance considering he had at least 2 or 3 pretty bad drops in significant situations as well. Um, Kind of on trend with like first and second round receivers, really first round, I guess. Very disappointing. Jamar Chase, AJ Brown, Nico Collins, Brian Thomas, just to name a few off the top of the head, like scoring less than 10 points. I mean, I think Brian Thomas had 9, right? So I mean,
Yeah,
it's not what you expect. So I mean, I do think things are going to be on the up and up, especially for Nico, considering he kept him over Neighbors. Got to be happy from a Jets perspective on the Brees Hall play. I mean, he looks like he's back. His contract year, he's out there running hard. Looked really good. I mean, see if he can continue that. Josh Jacobs, stud, love the guy, and yeah, I mean the big thing here is the zero from Xavier Worthy. I mean, it's really tough to lose a pretty significant player in the sense that he's their true number one, and he has the stack with Mahomes, and loses him immediately. It's yeah, I mean, it's just hard to overcome that. I mean, there's a couple guys that he's got. He can kind of sprinkle in Javonte Williams. Damn, that's a nice little play. I forgot he had him.
yeah,
And Jacoby Myers. I mean, Geno Smith threw for damn near 400 yards. So I mean, they're going to chuck it in Las Vegas. So don't hate Snyder's team. Do think he's got some depth to kind of fill in some of these spots. I mean, Worthy potentially is out for the year. I was hearing. I mean, just depends on that surgery. Or yeah,
yeah,
I mean, it's he can sit for a couple weeks, but it's pretty highly likely that he can re-injure it. So yeah, it's gonna be
sure.
it's tough. But yeah, I mean, Steve, god damn it, most points and comes out looking pretty. His team looks pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a great performance from Steve. I mean, Josh Allen, you could say Josh Allen carried it, and I would say that that's very true. But like he's got to feel very good about his receiving core. Um, Notwithstanding the questionable tags, but I mean they're neighbors, and Drake London is obviously a great receiving duo for sure. But yeah, like he doesn't have a lot of depth on his bench. I mean, so like any type of injury right now will definitely screw him up a little bit. I mean, we don't know too much about if when he's got Judkins on his bench. He's another RB type, and see if he's going to be have a significant role with Cleveland. We're not really sure about that, and like the rest of his guys are just like depth backup pieces. So I mean,
Yep.
he's got to hope that his guys stay healthy as many other teams in the league do. But like some teams like I mean I would say like on my bench I like if an injury pops up I like a couple of the guys I had like Michael Pittman Jr. had 20 some points week 1. So I'm not saying he's going to be consistent like that, but I like some of the other teams like first night. If okay, Xavier Worthy's out, yeah, Jacoby Myers, you can feel great about sliding him in your flex spot or Javante. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I would say maybe Myers more because of the full point PPR. Can't really expect too much. I mean, Javante Williams will have a little bit of touchdown regression. I mean, he's not a guy that's going to go off like every single week because we've seen him in Denver and we see he's just not been that great of a player. So, great win off the first week for Steve, and here's hoping that he can continue his hot streak. I'm sure for his perspective, and hopefully the Iron Men can get back on the win column next week.
Good. Yeah. Sorry to rush you along. We got
No, we got
About
to
eight
get it moving
eight
here.
eight minutes on just on the
Yeah,
recap here, and then
sure. Hmm.
worst case scenario, we can always load up another one for previews. We'll see.
Hmm.
All right, let's last matchup here. I had this slightly going towards I think Tiburon in my projection, or prediction. So I think those are the only two I missed. I mean, I picked myself, and I think I picked Tiburon here. So Rick, I mean, God, that shit blizzard's storming here in September. It just keeps on rolling from 2024. Um, Lamar Jackson. I mean, again, talk about weekly league winners. Um, you kind of got to play for it when you draft a quarterback. I'm not sure. I'd have to look back on the board again, but obviously Lamar Jackson garnered an earlier pick, in terms of a quarterback selection. So there's only a few guys that you can do that for, and you got to kind of build your team around it. So I mean, great, 33 points. Um, you know, just very calm and easy. 33 points. He only threw for two touchdowns. Didn't run any in besides the rushing yards. Like you said, Devontae Smith, you're going to have those hit or miss weeks. They just got it done on the ground. Debo, you mentioned earlier, awesome. Don't know if you can necessarily bank on 22 a week. I do think he's going to have some dud weeks, but if he can stay healthy, and obviously with Terry there, and Daniels, they'll certainly be they're going to be a threat. They're going to be a good team. Genty not didn't really didn't impress me. Obviously kind of a subdue. They threw a lot against New England. New England's secondary was banged up. Gonzalez didn't play. I think they probably changed their game plan a little bit. Um, More to come. I do think he's a good player, but kind of salvages the day just with a tutty. Jonathan Taylor didn't really play in the second half, really needed to. So I think that's, um, every one of his players besides Devontae gets double digits, including Denver, which I arguably is the best defense probably in the National Football League, but more so kind of nice to see somebody get over 10 points in this new defensive structure.
Yeah.
More to come. It's only week one. A lot of backlash. It seemed like, just based off the scoring. I know there's three or four guys that were certainly not pleased with the lack of points, but I think we should just let it play out, see what happens in the next couple weeks. Like I said, it's hard to judge something off a week, but it has been an interesting way of scoring points. I'll say that from a defensive standpoint. Tiburon, I mean, probably the most vocal guy in the group chat, just always responding. Guy's on it. Guy's been locked in ever since he won a championship. He has been um, very, very involved. We'll say that. Not a bad team. I think he just had a couple dud weeks, just like most of us did for week one. I mean, I can't expect T Higgins to have six. Ladd was kind of subdued, even though they threw a lot. Quentin Johnson gets two touchdowns. Keenan Allen gets a touchdown. I mean, it's an interesting dynamic there. But I mean, he's the wide receiver one, and it seemed like a very pass heavy offense, which was kind of unexpected. The rest of the team is pretty good. I mean, if McCaffrey stays healthy, especially now with all the injuries, he's going to get a ton of looks, and he is going to be an absolute workhorse for them in the next couple of weeks, especially if Purdy's out. So, another guy that could easily put up 30 a week, puts up 23 that week. Yeah, I mean, let's scroll down a little bit on the bench side. I mean, is there anything that we're missing here? Jalen Warren, maybe. Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Baker.
Yeah. But
No, you
like,
got Lamar. Yeah, that's
yeah,
pretty much it.
no.
These are the lineups.
Yeah, no, this is definitely the lineup. I mean, obviously, Kittle being hurt is maybe a huge thing, but like Andrews is on his bench, so he can just plug in Andrews. But I mean, he had a terrible game, and but the thing is, Mark Andrews got up to a terrible start last year too. If you remember,
Yep.
he had a couple of games where he had like one catch or no catches, and it's frustrating as hell. But I mean, expect Mark Andrews to be heavily involved, but it's just kind of disheartening when you have 40 points and you only have one catch. It's kind of very very strange. But Lamar didn't really throw the ball that many times. Just
No.
he just does it on the ground. Derrick Henry does too. But like as far as like Ryan's team, I mean, yeah, like you said, Ladd just I would expect him like a 20-point game out of him, and like out of nowhere, here comes Keenan Allen back from the dead. Seems like no one was talking about him because he wasn't on the team, and he
Yep.
resigns, goes back to the team that he always was on. I mean, I love Keenan Allen. I think he's a great, obviously
Me
one of
too.
a staple of Finkel Einhorn's teams. I think over the years. So maybe Ladd comes back up next week. I mean, I don't think it's going to. Quentin Johnston's not going to be a guy that's going to consistently have a couple touchdowns a game either. So I feel like Ladd's going to will bounce back for sure. Even like Bucky Irving didn't have a great game either. He scores
Okay.
14, but I mean, he didn't have like a studly performance. I mean, but McCaffrey is the key. I mean, obviously, we know we don't have to rehash the CMC details from last year for me. I mean, it was very frustrating, but it's just to see him back. I mean, I still love the guy. So like, great performance from CMC. I mean, just if you're Ryan, you love to see that him staying healthy and him. He can average 20 points a game. Like he's that damn good. But also, too, like maybe next week he's got to think about starting Caleb Williams because Trevor Lawrence. I wouldn't want to go into my fantasy season with Trevor Lawrence as my quarterback, my QB1. Just not. I don't think he's very good. So like Caleb Williams will do. He has DJ Moore too, so he can stack DJ Moore with Caleb Williams, and Caleb Williams can rush as well. So
Yep.
something to look forward to for next week. But I mean, week one, don't no panic. No manager should panic. It's only week one, so you know, see what happens.
Yeah, I mean that's a good note. I mean, as a Packers fan, it's got to suck to consider that he has to consider stacking Caleb Williams, DJ Moore at
Yeah.
this point.
Yes.
Um, so we'll see. I mean, there's definitely guys that have some trade pieces if he's looking to upgrade. I know Ryan's not the easiest guy, um, in that sense to trade with. I mean, there's a lot of us that are like that, so it's not a knock on him. I'm not the easiest one to trade with either, just in terms of like what you value for your team and what you want to get back. But um, there's some guys that have multiple quarterbacks that are they're quite, sitting on their bench that are very well, could be very well starters on a 12-man league, that he can certainly seek out. So yeah, I mean, yeah, tough loss. The Blizz man, he's going to be a threat again. It'd be interesting to see if Rick wins two in a row. And I got early
Yeah.
talks, but so just taking a look at this before we kind of have to jump off this, just before we get to the week 2 preview.
Mm.
Um, the two Clark boys sitting up top next to each other, real cute. Steve's 1, Rick's 2. You're sliding right there in 3. Geese 4. The Bastards 5, and Colombian White's 6. Everyone else sitting there at 0-1, and your boy not looking great with 76 points, but a lot of fantasy football left to play. We'll get into the week 2 matchups after this. We're gonna stop it right here for the time being. That way we can have 2 things to load and not have to cut it off. So
Yep.
see you in a second.
All right. See you.